unfortunately, because you have the jump armor. You can actually just jump armor Nair out of a lot of combos. And when it comes to shield poking, well, what are we? Oh, Yoshi Ditto and Yoshi's Island, the stage for that is not even legal. Don't tell me it's a button check. No. Don't tell me it's a button check. No.
Actually, this is Yoshi's story. Yoshi's Island is the
I don't want to hear it.
Super Mario World stage.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I believe this stage...
Oh, sorry.
This stage was legal in some rule set recently. It might have been... I think it was legal at Genesis, if I'm not mistaken. I could be dead wrong about that.
Actually, it wasn't.
Don't quote me on that, because I could be dead wrong about that.
It's a very controversial stage in the sense of the slants, and you already have a Battlefield-esque stage.
Yeah, and it's not like, it's not like other games where, like, the layout being slightly different impacts it that much like Melee. Because, like, Melee has, like, several tri-plat stages, but the blast zones are all so vastly different. The layouts are smaller. This game's mechanics, it's a little bit different for sure. As the up smash you see trying to go through the platform right there to stuff out RJ's way out of disadvantage, and the first stock will be going to Pharaoh with the up air.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's really interesting to see, the old guard that represented this character so well in RJ going up against the new guard in Pharaoh, who is the top level representation of Yoshi we have in the current meta in here in Jersey.
Very rare we ever see anybody use the yellow Yoshi as well on top of that.
Yeah, nobody ever plays this alt. I mean, this is definitely the RJ alt. He can definitely claim it, and nobody will complain.
Yeah, nobody will complain. He's definitely the first yellow Yoshi I've seen for sure. And I like the way that Pharaoh positioned himself right there, just slowly utilizing that insane drift on the way up to the platform, just bouncing along the walls of Yoshi's story like it's a damn, like, Melee Falcon, just continuously wall jumping off of it for sure. It's a nice little stalling tactic to just, like, make your way at a disadvantage when you feel like your opponent's ready to cover every option by the ledge. You know?
It's so hard. Like, Yoshi really just trying to edge guard himself it's weird, because, like I said, jump armor becomes such a factor. Combo game is little to none. Like, you're going to see a lot of 1-2s, and just like you're seeing right here, a lot of spacing coming out from both these players, just waiting for that one big hit to just get an execution. None of them wants to make the first move, because they already know, like, if they throw something, if they throw an unsafe move, that's going to be a free punish.
It's part of what makes Dittos just so strange, you know what I mean? Like, you see them just spacing stuff on each other's shield over and over again, because if there's anything that Yoshi has, he has the best airspeed in the game, or the best air drift in the game. That's something he has an edge on over every single other character in this game for, except himself, obviously. So now when he's fighting himself, it doesn't really matter as much, because that down air is definitely going to do it off the top. It kind of feels like that scene in The Incredibles where it's like when everyone's super, nobody is. That's how it feels right now between these guys right now. So this is actually just a true testament of fundies, of which player is just going to be able to play the Ditto properly, pick and choose his moments better on when to approach and when a combo is going to work and when it isn't.
Oh my goodness.
And when call-out options like that are going to be covered on the part of RJ on the way back down for sure, man. It's outlier stuff like that that's going to determine a matchup. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Mario Ditto in that sense. They both have frame 3 nairs too.
Yeah.
Speaking of
the Tims coming out and giving Pharaoh the win over RJ in that game 1. Pretty good stuff from both these players. Like, it really just came down to, RJ being down, getting a little bit too greedy, trying to fish for some hits so he can even things back out. And unfortunately, Pharaoh just playing the patient game. Did not lose his patience, did not lose his focus, knew exactly what he had to do to bring it back and just extend his lead further. Pharaoh taking game 1, and now we're going to PS2 for our game number 2.
I mean, you're a resident Yoshi player here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do you prefer to play if you ever have to go up against another Yoshi? I mean, you also have other characters. Do you even go Yoshi against other Yoshis?
If I know I can beat the player, then I will. If I know more about this character than I do my opponent, then I'm going to stay Yoshi.
Right.
But, like, realistically, if I have a counter pick, I will 100% choose
Makes more sense.
Another character over Yoshi. Because, I mean, every Yoshi plays so different. Like, I've asked so many people, what do I do different than Pharaoh or Tab or even RJ? And everybody's like, well, you're a lot more unorthodox. Pharaoh's a lot more neutral-based. Tab is a lot more aggressive, you know. And we all have different play styles. So trying to adapt is so hard, especially in a matchup where, you know, combos are, like, non-existent.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, I suppose that makes a little bit of sense because I guess the layout just wouldn't necessarily matter as much. It would only depend on like how you decide to really play the character. Right now, we have Pharaoh really catching RJ, holding in quite a bit, hitting him with what's about 3 eggs in him.
Nobody wants to approach because they just know they're not going to get much out of it. You're going to knock your opponent back and get the stage control, but that's about it.
Yeah, Dittos are real derpy in this game. Did they both just run up like pivot cancel F tilt at the same time? Tell me that's what I just saw.
Can you blame them?
I don't blame them at all. I mean, you know, you're gonna need some safe poking options for sure. I mean, whichever one of them, when they're both at like kill percent, whichever one runs in with a forward air first is gonna die.
They're in sync. Like everything they do is just kind of the same. They're going for the same options. Watch. They're both gonna throw an egg eventually. Egg. Oh no! Oh.
No, unorthodox.
That's yeah.
Unorthodox, yeah.
And that's how you gotta go about any Ditto matchup. You gotta pull out the strings. You gotta do those things that you would only do in training mode, and to say, you know what, this is gonna work somehow. I don't know how, but it's gonna work.
Dittos are a true test. You do have to play so weird. I mean,
yeah.
You know me when I like to play Mario. I mean, there was another Mario player back at Montclair State when I was going to school there, and we would go tit for tat in sets a lot of the times. And even when I was just trying to play more defensive, because they'll usually say the more defensive Mario wins, you just have to play different in Dittos and off the top with the egg straight up with the backwards angle. Beautiful way to top off the stock.
My man really just got Eggs Benedict on, bro.
Oh my god. How long have you been waiting to come up to say that one?
A while.
A while?
A while. It's been forever. Let me get this.
Because I know you. You didn't come up with that just now.
Nah. I've held this. I've held it for too long. I had to get it out there. Get it out of my system.
That's a great one. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of wish I said it.
Oh, my God.
Don't linger off the level too long. Double jump armor, not going to be broken with the forward air.
Okay.
That heavy armor is just a little too strong. You need to be at higher percent for that to be able to break through. And now Pharaoh is slowly but surely approaching that percent. So now...
Oh, my God. I thought he was going to do something.
Now Pharaoh's got to be a little careful with his double jumps off the level. Because now I feel like we're approaching percent where forward air is going to beat the heavy armor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like we got to be careful with that, but unfortunately for RJ, the neutral's been reset, and the down B is going to beat the up tilt. That was not the right time to use a tilt. That was so unfortunate.